I married the emperor when we were young. We ruled side by side for half a lifetime until middle age came and his heart drifted to a favored concubine. To him, I became invisible. A wife, in name only. Even my own son, the crown prince, turned against me. He wanted to marry a common girl. I tried to protect him, and for that, he hated his own mother. In the end, despair took me. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the past, to the moment before everything fell apart. This time, I understood. I didn't need to endure. I didn't need to sacrifice. All I needed to do was live well for myself. If the emperor wishes to spoil his little concubine, so be it. That throne is not mine to carry. If the crown prince wants a common bride, fine. His future is no longer my burden. I let go of everything that once chained me. And surprisingly, that was when they began to regret it all. Chapter 1. I was once the empress of a vast empire. Silk and jade trailed in my footsteps. Mountains and rivers bowed beneath the imperial seal. I sat on the phoenix throne, beside a man the world called son of heaven, mother to the crown prince who would one day inherit the world. To the court, I was dignity incarnate, an empress of noble birth, calm grace, and impeccable conduct. I fulfilled every duty demanded of me as a wife, daughter-in-law, and mother. For decades, I stood at the emperor's side through storms and triumph, believing loyalty and devotion would be answered with respect. But time reveals hearts, and in middle age, when life should have ripened into peace, my husband chose another woman. Lady Serene, soft-spoken, tear-eyed, always fragile in his presence. He gave her tenderness, attention, and indulgence, everything he once promised me but never truly gave. To me, he left nothing, not even dignity. And my son, Lucas Gu, the crown prince, he fell in love with a common girl, and when I tried to guide him, he turned his resentment on me, the mother who carried and raised him, accusing me of cruelty for denying him his true love. Abandoned by the man I shared half a lifetime with, hated by the son I once protected above all else, I died holding nothing but bitterness and regret. Yet when I opened my eyes again, I was back, returned to the years before the betrayal, before my heart was ground into dust, and this time I understood. I do not exist to hold up a dynasty. I do not live to anchor an emperor's pride. I do not sacrifice my soul for a child who will gladly cast me aside. Let the emperor honor whichever woman pleases him. Let the crown prince marry the girl who has captured his immature heart. Let the empire flourish or decay. It is no longer my burden. For the first time in my life, I choose myself. And the moment I looked away from them, when I no longer cared for their crown or their love, that was when they began to regret. After Lucas left, Kuning Palace fell silent. The palace servants assumed I was angry with him. "Your Majesty, the crown prince is still young," said Clara softly. "He will understand your intentions when he's older." Clara, my maid since childhood. My mother assigned her to me when we were 6, 30 years by my side. In my last life she died for me. "Clara," I murmured, "do you think the crown prince would abandon his own mother for a woman?" She gasped. "Your Majesty, how could you think such a thing? He is your flesh and blood. He would never be so unfilial." "Oh, wouldn't he?" "Of course not," Clara insisted, though she faltered slightly. "He is simply young, infatuated. Once the excitement fades, he will return to reason." I merely shook my head. Her loyalty warmed me, but reality was crueler than innocence could imagine. Before she could speak again, Iris hurried in. "Your Majesty, Lady Serene has sent someone to the Internal Affairs Bureau to take the tribute screens from the Kingdom of Shira." A pair of exquisite golden thread screens, dragon and phoenix, a gift meant for the Emperor and Empress. Lady Serene had taken them openly. In my previous life, I had reacted with fury, and in doing so, I made myself a joke. Because when she ordered the theft, Adrian Gu was right there with her. She broke protocol with his silent blessing. Our marriage, our dignity, shattered. This time, I smiled instead. "No need to rush." I rose and said evenly, "Bring the jade carvings, twin phoenix and dragon, gifted by the Grand Empress Dowager." Clara and Iris froze. "Your Majesty?" "The Grand Empress Dowager once said," I reminded them, "harmony between Emperor and Empress brings peace to the realm." I turned calmly. "Since Lady Serene enjoys the Emperor's affection and shares a marriage in all but title, then present twin phoenix and dragon to her. And deliver my exact words to His Majesty. Let him hear it. Let him choke on it." The twin phoenix and dragon carvings were a pair of priceless jade sculptures, a dragon and a phoenix, each holding a jade pendant in its mouth. They were carved by a master craftsman a century ago and kept among the dowry treasures of the Grand Empress Dowager. The day after my wedding, when Adrian Gu and I went to pay respects, she gifted them to us personally. She placed the pendants over our necks, her voice solemn. You grew up together. 2 hearts, 1 bond. Do not repeat the tragedy of the former emperor and empress. The previous emperor and empress had destroyed each other, and the realm along with them. It was her deepest wound. Adrian smiled then, confident and gentle. Grandmother, rest assured, Celeste and I are a perfect match. We will write a harmonious tale together. And I had believed him. We were childhood companions. We did share affection once. He was an earnest prince then, drowning in state affairs, almost never taking concubines. Soon I bore him a healthy son. We had once been happy, but people change. Once he mastered politics and power, his ambitions spread, to women, to vanity, to indulgence. One beauty entered the palace, then another, and another. Jealousy burned me, but queens are meant to be magnanimous. I focused on my son, investing my heart in him. That was my greatest error. In the end, both husband and son slipped from my grasp. Clara's shaking voice pulled me back. Your Majesty, please do not quarrel with His Majesty over Lady Serene. I glanced down. The jade pendant in my hand had cracked at some point. A soft laugh escaped me. Look at you, I said gently. The only one truly on my side. Clara's face crumpled in confusion and pain. Lady Serene is beautiful now, but she is only favored for a while. Why bother lowering yourself to compete with her? There are many ways to win His Majesty back. You're mistaken, I interrupted quietly. That woman doesn't shine briefly, she wins in the end. And my marriage was like this jade, broken, unmendable. I have no intention of repairing it ever again. A furious voice cut through the hall. Insolence, I turned. Adrian Gu stood in the doorway, face dark as thunder. He strode in, stopping when he saw the shattered jade. Empress, what is the meaning of this? Clara started to kneel. I motioned her away. It has been a long time since we spoke properly, I said calmly. Everyone leave. Not even Adrian's guards moved. I scoffed. So this is what being empress means. Your words carry no authority. His jaw tightened. Leave us. The hall emptied. I looked at him fully, still strong, uninjured, handsome in his prime. Have you stared enough? He asked coldly, sitting beside me. You sent your maid storming into Serene's palace with the jade gift, he continued. If I had not been there, she might have fainted from fright. She is delicate and gentle. I laughed. So this is what you rushed here to say? He blinked, thrown off by my amusement. Adrian Gu, I said softly, being your empress is truly dull. His expression darkened. You didn't hear me at the door, or did you simply choose to ignore it? Of course he heard. He simply didn't care. He never truly did. He raised a brow. Are you trying to threaten me with grandmother? You think I can only threaten? I smiled. I'm merely stating truth. You've been emperor too long. You cannot stand honest words anymore. He slammed the table. Enough. The empress has spoken out of line. 3 months confinement. I rose, slowly, deliberately, and swept the shattered jade to the floor, its pieces scattered like the remnants of our vows. Our bond is as broken as this jade, I said. This time, did you hear it clearly? He stared, silent, then left in anger. I was confined that night. I did not care. I was indeed confined. In the past, such punishment would have cut me to the bone. Now, confinement was peace. I stayed in Kuning Palace, reading storybooks, sorting the treasury, enjoying quiet days. All palace affairs were handed to Lady Serene. She reveled in it. News still flowed to me, of course. When Adrian scolded Lucas over his desire to marry Nora, the entire court heard of it. The next day, the crown prince came to my doors. He had always run to me after quarreling with his father. Only this time he found the doors closed. Let him in, I said. I was curious. He entered, shoulders stiff with indignation. Mother, what did you do to make father so furious? I laughed. No greeting, no concern, straight to blame. You came not to ask about my well-being, I replied softly, but to question me. He flushed. Father said your majesty acted improperly. As empress, you should keep decorum and win his forgiveness. Clara's fingers tightened on the book in her hand. She, too, finally saw clearly. I smiled at Lucas. You worry I will jeopardize your position, so you come to correct me. Perhaps you should find another mother, then. Mother, he snapped, stunned. I met his eyes calmly. Lady Serene is favored, she influences your father, and she is gentle toward you, yes? He did not deny it. Clara could not restrain herself. She flung the storybook at him. You ungrateful. Clara? I stopped her gently. I turned to Lucas. Lucas, our bond ends here. Go, and live your life. He opened and closed his mouth like a fish, stunned into silence. Then he left. Next time, I told Clara, do not let him in. Your Majesty, she whispered, voice trembling, he is your only child. There are many royal children in this palace, I replied lightly. He is not as rare as you think. I had clung too tightly in my past life. This time, I let go. When Adrian first seized power, he obsessed over beauties until he found Lady Serene. 16 princes, 12 princesses. This palace overflowed with children. I could choose another child to raise if I wished. But I was waiting to see whether the person from my past life would appear again. Before that day came, Lady Serene lost her composure. With me confined, she believed herself invincible. She wanted real power, not just affection. Your Majesty, Iris announced one afternoon, His Majesty summons you to Qixiang Palace. I looked at her calm expression and sighed inwardly. I had once trusted her deeply. Had fate not given me another lifetime, I never would have known she would betray me. We entered Qixiang Palace. As soon as I stepped inside, I saw her, Lady Serene, pale and weak on the bed. Adrian sat beside her, holding her hand tenderly. As affectionate as ever, I said. Lady Serene trembled dramatically. Adrian snapped, you appear unrepentant, forgetting even proper etiquette. Etiquette? I raised a brow. Compared to you publicly humiliating your empress for a concubine, my lapse seems trivial. Celeste! You don't need to shout, I said smoothly. This hall is not large. Eunuch Justin quickly dismissed the servants until only Clara remained. Adrian glared. I know you were aware Lady Rue attempted to harm Lady Serene, yet you stood by and did nothing. Why did you not stop her? Ah, so the accusation this time was inaction, not instigation. Interesting. Lady Serene was incompetent at framing me in this life. He continued coldly. Are you jealous she may bear a son stronger than Lucas? I almost laughed. Lucas is weak, but he would not be paranoid enough to fear a sibling still in the womb. Lady Serene paled. I looked directly at her stomach, still perfectly flat. Besides, who knows whether this child will survive at all? Her face drained of blood. Adrian frowned. Do not frighten her. This is all it takes to frighten her? I sneered. And you want her to be empress? Lady Serene clutched Adrian's sleeve. Your Majesty, please. I never wanted status. I only wish to serve you quietly. I do not covet the empress's position. Oh? I tilted my head. A single denial and he believes you? They both froze. I stepped closer, voice calm but sharp. Pretty lies are still lies. Even emperors should know that. Before Adrian could explode again, a eunuch arrived, breathless. The culprit was found in Kunning Palace. One of the empress's servants betrayed her and colluded with Lady Rue. Perfect timing. I suggest, I said pleasantly, that you add more guards for your darling. If mishaps continue, she truly will fail to carry this child to term. I walked out, pausing only to add, and Adrian, if you wish to depose me, do as you please. He could not yet. That made him all the angrier. Chapter 2. I once tolerated Adrian for the crown prince's sake. I thought motherhood meant sacrifice. I thought devotion would win loyalty. How foolish. I had grown up in the palace, trained to be gentle, soft-spoken, measured, a perfect empress. But I was also my mother's daughter, and my father, Ethan Jian, was no weak reed. He was brilliant in both civil and military affairs, rose from nothing, and earned his title through true merit. He was devoted to my mother. Until she died. After that, he changed. Remarried, had sons. Stopped loving me, stopped loving anyone. I once thought he simply turned cold. Now I knew better. He was grieving and burying his heart. He and Adrian had always been wary of each other. Neither would allow the other to truly dominate. Only because father lived did Adrian not dare touch Lucas and me in the last life. Father's presence had been my greatest shield, and I hadn't even known it. This life, I would not misunderstand again. So when Adrian suddenly told Eunuch Justin, let the Empress handle the mid-autumn banquet, I froze. Eunuch Justin relayed the message, praising my years of perfect management, saying His Majesty trusted me most. Trusted? What a joke. He simply wanted to test if I would crawl back. I refuse, I said. I will not manage a palace that is not mine. Let Lady Serene try. Adrian could not force me. In the end, he assigned old palace matrons to assist Lady Serene instead. She clung to power like a drowning woman. Good, let her choke on it. I turned my attention elsewhere. I summoned the best embroiderers in the palace, had them make a stunning new gown. Gold thread phoenix sleeves, fine pearl hairpins, aglow like starlight. Mid-autumn night arrived. I entered the banquet hall like a blazing comet. Though close to 40, I had preserved myself well. Dignity, grace, radiance. Even Lady Serene, famed beauty, paled beside me. Adrian's gaze flickered. Ah, he remembered, but I did not dress for him. I raised my cup and paused. A strange scent, obvious, crude, not poison, but something unpleasant. Not my trap. Someone else's. Before I could investigate, a cry pierced the hall. Lady Leah's bleeding. Leah, a newly favored concubine, she collapsed, fainted, then Lady Serene swayed and dropped as well. Drama before the first dish was served. Adrian remained expressionless. No panic, no worry. Even as Lady Serene lay unconscious, the hall went silent. I arched a brow. You're not going to see your beloved? His gaze slid toward me instead. When you dress like this, you resemble your younger self, before we married. I nearly choked on my wine. So he truly thought this was for him. He reached toward my hand, and I slapped him away. Do not mention our wedding day, I said coldly. Back then I never imagined you would one day humiliate me for a concubine in front of the court. I rose to leave. He grabbed my sleeve. Celeste. Footsteps paused. Court froze. I turned sharply, voice razor sharp. If you embarrass me, remember, you began it, not I. And I walked out. Clara whispered behind me, anxious. I waved a hand. What dignity do I have left to lose? He already stripped it long ago. Adrian followed soon after, face strained. He dismissed the servants, voice low with anger. You should know when to yield. I have already conceded. I stared at him. Conceded? He gave crumbs and believed them kindness. You are empress. Your son is crown prince. Your father holds power. Is that not enough? He demanded. And then, almost bitterly, you think I favored Serene to punish you? To replace you? No, she is gentle. She does not threaten you. You as empress should be magnanimous. My laugh was soft and cold. To you this is affection. To you this is enough. He truly believed it, that his neglect and betrayal were still generosity. He would never understand why my heart shattered. I spoke quietly. Our bond is ruined, broken like the jade I shattered. No one broke it, we did. He opened his mouth to argue. Then a eunuch ran forward. Your Majesty, the royal children are all ill, vomiting, stomach cramps, after tasting desserts at the banquet. Adrian stiffened. So did I. The children, so many of them suffered, while he had rushed only to Serene. Then a shriek from inside the hall. Lady Serene miscarried. Adrian rushed to her immediately. Lucas's face darkened. He watched his father disappear, his siblings unattended, breath trembling. I glanced at him. Do not look surprised, you and the rest are not worth as much as her. His lips shook, then a soft cry from the nursery. The 9th princess, Livia, stood there, small, quiet, frightened but unharmed, and my heart sank. The soul from my past life, the girl who once became my ally, she was not here. Not this time. Perhaps she would never return. I exhaled and brushed Livia's hair gently. Come, I whispered softly. Adrian pressed his lips together and said nothing. At last he gave a cold laugh. Fine. Fine. A senior eunuch rushed out from the hall and whispered to John Fouchon. John's face changed. He glanced at Adrian, unsure whether to speak. Say it, Adrian ordered. Your Majesty, the princes and princesses who ate from the banquet table all have stomach cramps. They cannot stop running to the privy. Adrian's face did not move. He assumed only a few had eaten something bad. John continued, voice lower. Except the very little ones who were seated elsewhere, every prince and princess who ate the banquet food is unwell. Only then did Adrian take it seriously. I startled too. The 9th princess, did she eat as well? At imperial family banquets, young children sit together. Today the feast was delayed. Children get hungry first. Adrian and I had stepped away. They would have started eating. Our quarrel halted. We headed to the rear hall together. The crown prince was speaking to the physicians. When he saw us, he reported, the physicians examined the children. They did eat tainted cakes, but not much. With rest and a short recovery, they will be fine. Hearing this, Adrian turned a corner and went straight into Lady Serene's room. The crown prince's face darkened. Fix your expression, I told him quietly. Your father's favor for Lady Serene didn't start today. Why act shocked? He tried to control himself, then muttered, There are more than 10 imperial children ill. Do all of them together still count less than one beloved consort? He did not even look at them. Yes, I thought. Not only them, add your elder and younger siblings and even you. He wanted to say more, but a sharp scream came from inside Lady Serene's chamber, followed by sorrowful sobs. Her voice, dramatic and delicate. The child was gone. Someone whispered. The physician already warned her pregnancy was hard to keep. Given how badly the family banquet went, losing the child would even help Lady Serene. It wins Adrian's pity and lets her push blame for the banquet onto others. That is Adrian's headache. I turned toward the rooms of the princesses. Today's patients were girls aged 3 to 10. Some had gone to change clothes, 5 remained. 2 lay in bed, 3 sat in a row on a couch. When I entered, the 3 rose at once. The 9th princess stood in the middle. She bowed with the others, then stood with downcast eyes, very quiet. My heart sank. If she is unharmed, then that soul has not come. Her name, in my last life, was Zhao Ruo. She did not belong to this world. Back then, the 9th princess fell at the mid-autumn banquet and fainted. When she woke, Zhao Ruo had taken root in her body. She kept a low profile at first. I did not notice. We truly met later in Yuhua Palace, when everything fell apart. By then, I was stripped of title and made a commoner. She, for organizing the imperial children against Lady Serene, failed and was punished by Adrian. We were both shut away in tight little rooms. We talked and became friends. She told me stories of another timeline, a world bright and full of variety. She used to mock Lady Serene, White Lotus fake. She even became Empress Dowager and still dresses like a permanent mourner. You, as Empress, would never dress like that. In that life, when she said it, I wore coarse cloth, the look chosen by Lady Serene to humiliate me. She never saw me dressed in full splendor. This time I dressed well, but she did not come. Mother? Perhaps I stared too long. The 9th princess lifted her eyes carefully, frightened by my gaze. Her eyes were bright, innocent. So be it, I thought. A good child living safely is its own blessing. Adrian found a few scapegoats for the banquet and forced the case closed. The tension between us remained, but I took back control of the inner palace. Since Zhao Ruo is not here this time, I must think about the next step. Among 15 princes, which one should I adopt as my son? This needs careful observation. As for the crown prince, I treated him as if he no longer existed. Yet he came to Kuning Palace today. Because I had ordered the gates shut to him, he could not enter. A maid whispered, he might be here because His Majesty agreed he could marry Miss Liu. Oh? So Adrian had agreed? The decree was just issued. Miss Liu's identity is now recorded as the great-granddaughter of Master Gu Dao. I sat straighter. Master Gu Dao? That must be father's doing. Master Gu Dao is nearly 70. He once served as imperial tutor, then retired to teach. He is revered among scholars. In his youth, Ethan Jiang, my father, debated with him and they became close across generations. Miss Liu was a farmer's daughter. To become Master Gu Dao's great-granddaughter, father must have intervened. But how did the crown prince persuade him? She has no family power. She brings no advantage. Father should have refused. I had the crown prince summoned. He came only at sunset, slow-paced, face cool. He was angry, the same way Adrian goes cold when angry. I did not indulge him. I asked directly, did my father agree to your marriage? He tried to hold back. I pressed harder. At last he told the story. After being scolded by Adrian for telling the truth, he came to me and was rebuffed again. He then went to Ethan Jiang. Father refused at first. The crown prince argued that my own mother came from common birth, yet father treasured and honored her all his life. And I am the crown prince, he added. Why must I have a wife from a powerful clan? What if she becomes another Empress Xiao Zhao? Father supposedly reconsidered and agreed, telling him to learn to treat his future princess with sincerity. It felt wrong to me. A man like Ethan Jiang, who moves through court with ease, would not be swayed by such naive talk, especially when the crown prince is merely a tool to him. And why so rushed a wedding? The crown prince turned his face aside, embarrassed. Miss Liu already carries my child. What? They were already intimate. My brows rose. All the more reason Ethan Jiang should have opposed it. When things look abnormal, there is always more underneath. I investigated, but found nothing. So I decided to start with the girl. Though improper before the wedding, I used the authority of the first princess to summon Miss Liu quietly to the palace. The servants failed to bring her to Kuning Palace. Your Majesty, Miss Liu went to Chixian Palace instead. Chapter 3. I rose at once for Chixian Palace. I had summoned her in secret. How did Lady Serene know? Unless there was a trap waiting. At the gate, Lady Serene's women tried to block me. Qingman signaled the senior maids. The path opened at once. Inside, Lady Serene reclined on the bed, affecting weakness. Beside her sat a strange young woman. Your Majesty the Empress, Lady Serene said in her sweet, thin voice. I am unwell and cannot salute. The stranger rose and bowed properly. Commoner Ning Rosheng greets Your Majesty. Ning Rosheng was Miss Liu's new, elevated name as Master Gudao's descendant. I noticed a medicine bowl beside her. She had been feeding Lady Serene, so familiar, so quickly. The first princess invited me to the palace, Ning said with an easy smile. But at the gate I met His Highness. He said Lady Serene has always been kind to him, so he brought me to greet her first. She pretended innocence. The words were a neat spark dropped between us. Lady Serene hid a pleased smile behind her kerchief and coughed softly. I ignored her and asked Ning Rosheng, Did the Crown Prince send you here? She nodded. So it was the Crown Prince's idea. He feared I might do something to the girl and delivered her to Lady Serene himself. Foolish beyond words, his pregnant beloved sent into a snake's den. Her ladyship is truly kind, Ning added lightly. Though still ill, she said she would prepare the Crown Prince's favorite, roast pork, to treat me. Her tone was odd. I assumed she was simply siding with Lady Serene to needle me. I turned to leave. Ning's voice followed, pleasant and careless. A pity. It seems Her Majesty does not like roast pork. The first sentence she said very loudly. The next she dropped to half voice, just enough for me to hear. Roast pork. A set of memories surged up. Zhao Ruo teasing in the last life about a roast pork son. I stopped. Could it be? I turned and strode back. You get up, I said. Come with me. The air was tight on our way back. I kept silent, controlling my own surge of feeling. In Kuning Palace I had everyone dismissed, Qingman included. Only the two of us remained. You are slow, the girl said, half lounging with no courtly stiffness. I dropped roast pork 3 times. I thought you'd lost your past life memories and forgotten I told you about the roast pork son. I had guessed but still asked. Zhao Ruo? She beamed. Yep, didn't expect it, did you? Last time I was your daughter. This time I'm your daughter-in-law. Relief settled my heart. She is here. Good. After the joking, she explained how she woke in Miss Liu's body. Ethan Zhang had indeed opposed the match. He saw the Crown Prince's first love and feared obsession. He appeared to agree while planning murder. The real Miss Liu became a corpse under his knife. When I opened my eyes, Zhao Ruo said, I was staring right at him. Your father's gaze is sharp enough to cut jade. You revived in front of him? Exactly. He knew right away I wasn't the original. I stiffened. He didn't hurt you? She spread her hands. Look at me. Perfectly fine. That leads to the main point. She looked straight at me. Your mother was a transmigrator too. I went still. From a timeline earlier than mine, she added. So I pretended to be her townsfolk. Your dad changed face instantly, friendly in a heartbeat. The words ran twice through my mind before settling. Mother was also from elsewhere. Father always knew. I can see it, she went on. He wants to find the time tunnel to meet her again. I fed him a story. We need supreme political power to search properly. The Crown Prince has little ability, she said bluntly. He'll support my child to the throne. I'll serve as regent. You are truly pregnant by Lucas? I asked. Yes. Don't worry. He looks decent and he's young. No pressure. She was as open as ever. Relax, she said laughing. This is your second life and my third. We'll manage just fine. The flicker of emotion in me cooled into calm. Yes, whether Lucas, Adrian or Ethan Jiang, none of them matter to me now. With Zhao Ruo in place, events moved quickly. Lady Serene was demoted today, from beloved consort to a mere talent. Reason, she pushed the Crown Princess and caused an early birth. Everyone in the palace knew I treated the Crown Prince with cool restraint these months, while Lady Serene behaved like a kind mother to him. So now they believed she had hidden malice all along. I followed Zhao Ruo's advice and softened toward Adrian. But not by bending. By staying aloof. High-handed. A little sharp. She called it tsundere. At first I refused to try. She said, "Think of him like a stubborn hound." I tried. It was amusing. He became more in love with me each day. His attention for Lady Serene faded. "See what you've done," I said to him. "You brought a snake into the house." In the past, he would have scolded me for speaking like this and left in anger. Now he lowered his voice and begged me not to be upset. Human change can be so large. We were speaking when a young eunuch arrived, face pale. I recognized him, the apprentice of the interrogator who handled Lady Serene's case. Qingman withdrew at once. Adrian continued soothing me, noticing nothing. That night I visited Lady Serene. She looked haggard. She was never robust, and now she seemed only bones. When she saw me, she shed the false weakness and sneered. "You win." I ignored the barbs. I asked what I truly wanted to know. "How did you realize the crown princess bore only a daughter?" This was what the eunuch came to report. Zhao had given birth to a girl, not twins. Our plan was set long ago. If the child was a girl, we would announce a boy-girl twin. The prince would be sent outside because of weakness and later declared dead when the situation stabilized. Lady Serene had sensed the truth. Ning Rosheng pretended closeness for months. "I learned what she could do," she said. I thought a moment. Zhao Ruo's attitude toward women, compassionate and matter-of-fact about women ruling, must have slipped into her speech and betrayed a hint. Lady Serene lifted her chin. "Don't be too pleased. Eunuch Qin, who runs the criminal office, leaves evidence. His Majesty will learn the truth." "Oh," I smiled. "Then you are lucky. We planned to wait longer before Adrian came to keep you company. Now he will be here sooner." Her eyes widened. "You dare commit treason?" I shook my head, remembering her old cruel words. "Now you can finally stay with him without a title," I said softly. "Of course, he won't have a title either." Eunuch Qin was competent. Adrian learned the truth. He stormed into Kuning Palace to confront me, and was seized and drugged the moment he opened his mouth. "Jiang Qin, what are you doing?" He touched his neck, stunned. As Jiang Fushan and others were dragged away, he closed his eyes and let out a furious laugh. "Your Jiang family is rebelling?" "How could it be?" I said calmly. "The crown prince and the royal heir are my blood, and yours." He understood at once. It isn't rebellion if the line remains, but he would lose imperial power all the same. He opened his mouth, closed it, then asked, "These months when we reconciled, was it all false?" I had not expected that question. With death at his door, what he cared about was not power, but me. I understood better what Zhao Ruo called a hound. It was almost funny. I had Qingmen bring the twin jade carvings, the phoenix and dragon. On his piece, the pendant still hung intact. On mine, the hook was empty. "I told you this twice," I said quietly. "You never listened. So here's the third time. Remember it. Our bond is like that jade, already broken." I pushed the jade from the table. It shattered on the floor. "I will not kill you," I said. "You will live in Yuhua Palace with Lady Serene as ordinary husband and wife." His mouth twisted. The strength went out of him, too late to understand. Half a year after the late emperor's funeral, the new emperor, Lucas, insisted on becoming a monk for a time to pray for his grandfather. "He made up his mind?" I asked. "Yes," Zhao Ruo said, signing memorials without looking up. "He also learned I am not the original Miss Liu, and that the real girl never wanted to marry him. The real Miss Liu was a farm girl from the outskirts. Her family died early. She grew up on the charity of neighbors. Lucas was obsessed and would marry no one else. She feared bringing trouble to her village and did not dare refuse openly, but in truth she did not want marriage." The two facts crushed him. After half a month of despair, he said he would devote himself to Buddha. I let him go. With Ethan Zhang's coaching, Zhao Ruo handled state affairs with ease. This emperor was optional. "Your father will set sail in 2 days to search for the time tunnel," she added. "Judging by age and obsession, he probably won't come back. Want to see him one last time?" I paused. "He will not return? He's over 60, and fixated on your mother. Sea journeys are long. I doubt he'll waste a trip back." "He still has sons," I said. She gave me a look. "He barely cared about you. You expect him to care about those 2 tool sons?" I had no rebuttal. After thinking a long time, I said, "Then I won't see him." I did not want to face his coldness. It turned out I worried for nothing. He left that very night without considering a farewell. The next day Zhao Ruo laughed. "Your father, what a man!" I could only shake my head. Then she sobered. Have you decided? Her question was simple. Will you stay within these walls or walk beyond them? In my last life, I never had such a choice. I entered the palace as a girl, became empress as a woman, and then spent the rest of my years trapped in duty and longing. Even when Adrian toured the realm, our hearts had grown cold. I remained behind, loyal to a life that never truly belonged to me. The truth is, I have never once seen what lies beyond the capital gates. I ruled a nation I never touched. I bore the weight of a throne, yet never tasted the breadth of the world it claimed to govern. Zhao Ruo's stories of open skies, bustling ports, mountains that breathe mist, and seas that stretch without end stirred something in me I once feared to name. Desire, curiosity, hope. Lucas once warned me, beware, if Zhao Ruo gains too much power, she may seize the dynasty. He never understood. I do not crave crowns or courts. I do not measure life by power or titles. The Grand Empress Dowager was right. I am not Empress Xiao Zhao, nor was I ever meant to be. And Zhao Ruo, she does not cling to authority either. She thinks of roads, homes, farmers, children, of lives being lived. Under her, the world will steady. Under me, it nearly suffocated. So I answered her at last, I have decided. I want to see the world. She nodded with quiet pride, not surprise. Then go, begin with the lands nearby. In a few years, when I finish the ports and sea routes, sail. There was no envy between us, no fear, no tether. Only two women who survived the same cage, standing in sunlight at last, one choosing to build a better world, the other finally choosing to live in it. I smiled, feeling something light and unfamiliar settle in my chest. Freedom. This life is good, truly, deeply good. And for the first time, my story no longer ends at the palace gates. It begins beyond them.